Hi, Joe Novicki here. Welcome to Cup of Joe. This week's case is called the case of the misunderstood college student stalker. So this week we head up to Cornell University up in Ithaca, New York, the Finger Lakes region. It's located about 50 miles southwest of University Hills, Syracuse, and about 230 miles northwest of Manhattan. So here we have Ray, who applied to Cornell in 2017. He had been a student at Kansas State University, but was expelled for violations of its code of conduct. On his application to Cornell, Ray did not mention his problems at KSU and lied that he never had been expelled from any school or academic program since 9th grade. Ray was accepted to Cornell, but soon after they found out his lies on his application form came to light, and so his offer to Cornell was rescinded. What does Ray do? Ray sues Cornell. So here now we're going to talk about the testimony from Ray's case. We're going to start off with the testimony of Cornell Admissions Department officer. So why did you change your mind about Ray's admission to Cornell's program? Well, Ray provided information on the application form, and it didn't tell the whole story. Well, like what? He wrote that he attended Kansas State, but he failed to mention that his time there ended in expulsion. And how did you find out about Ray's issues at Kansas State? Well, I realized that Ray had left out essential facts from his application form after reviewing his transcript from Kansas State. Well, if Ray had told the truth about KSU, would he have been admitted to Cornell? No. It was almost certain that he would not have been admitted, especially in view of what exactly his issues were at KSU. Well, what issues? KU expelled Ray and banned him from campus for 10 years and put a notation on his transcript that the expulsion was for non-academic misconduct. And did you investigate what that misconduct was? Well, he met the women at gatherings of different college Christian organizations. He sent dozens of unwanted messages to one woman, such as this one. I have a crush on you. I will be giving you a list of my desires. I will also make sure to point things out to you about what I like and why I'm attracted to you as well. Was there anything else? Yes. To the second woman, he texted messages, selfies, Bible verses, and audio files of songs from a religious website focused on marriage and sexual purity. She replied to him, "Stop talking to me." And according to the report, Ray did not stop. Ray contacted her and others through unknown phone numbers and social media profiles with made-up names. And what other behavior of Ray caused you concern? To the women's friends, relatives, and church group leaders who tried to intervene, Ray responded with curse-filled messages. He also tacked up flyers at the Jayhawker Towers, calling them pedophiles and members of a fake ministry. And did you happen to give Ray a chance to respond to those allegations and give him some opportunity to explain? I did, but Ray did not respond other than to ask us to reconsider, and that request was denied. Does Cornell have a written policy about leaving out information on applications for admissions? No. We have a campus code of conduct, but that is only applicable to registered students. Ray was not a registered student. There are no written policies governing the post-admission review of a prospective student's application. Thank you. Nothing further. So now we're going to go to the testimony of Ray. You did not deny that you had attended and were eventually expelled from Kansas State. No. And that you did not disclose that information to Cornell? I didn't put that on the application because, I knew it would have been misunderstood. Well, you have a history of being misunderstood, don't you, Ray? It has happened, yeah. In fact, at your hearing at KSU, you did not deny repeatedly contacting a female student after you were told not to, right? Look, if I had been able to continue contacting her, this whole mess would have been cleared up. In fact, the Sedgwick County District Court in Kansas issued an order of protection against you because of stalking that student, in addition to 2 other unrelated no-contact directives at KSU. Misunderstanding, sir. There was no real proof that I did anything at all. It was a kangaroo court. Well, after meeting the first woman in the spring of 2016, you sent her Facebook and text messages. Yeah, I did. And she didn't respond, but you continued, right? I thought something happened to her. Well, let me take a look here. In this one, you wrote, I have a crush on you. And this one here says, I'm thinking of you and I'm praying for you as well. I will be giving you a list of my desires. I will also make sure to point things out to you about why do I like you or why am I attracted to you as well. You wrote that, didn't you? I did, but there were circumstances that I chose not to discuss as to protect her. Well, she blocked you, right? I'm not sure. And then leaders of her church asked you to stop contacting her, right? Someone did, yeah. And then you sent messages to her via Facebook accounts with other names. I wanted an opportunity to explain to her. Well, let's see. You wrote after being blocked, and I'm reading from your text, I felt hurt seeing you a little distant, as I have let you know my interest towards you, and I never had a chance to talk to you. You wrote that, right? I did. And then you had flowers sent to her off-campus address, right? I did. What's wrong with that? She didn't give you her off-campus address, did she? No, but, it's out there. Well, you got it by following her home, didn't you? There's no proof of that. And then one of her relatives called you and asked you to stop, right? Yeah. And you responded to that relative, didn't you? Probably. With these curse-laden texts. Now look, I want to direct your attention to the screen here, okay? Do you see this? All right. Now, just to step back a little, when you first met the student, you told her that you were lonely and didn't have friends in Lawrence, right? I may have mentioned that. And then she invited you to a Bible study saying there was a great group of guys he might be able to plug in with. Yes, that's true. Now, that is you on the KSU campus putting up flyers at the Jayhawker Towers, disparaging various people associated with the people from the students' church, calling them pedophiles and members of a fake ministry. Is that right? I can't really make out who that is, and it was all unfair. KSU had to show proof that I committed both sexual harassment and sexual violence to prove I violated the conduct code, which KSU did not. And they breached this contract with me as a student by prohibiting me from campus. Nothing further, Your Honor. All right, so next we'll hear from Ray's attorney, and this is part of his summation. Your Honor, Cornell acted in bad faith by not affording Ray the opportunity to explain how the information about his time at Kansas State was inaccurate. Cornell accepted Ray as a student because he's an extraordinary student who had been himself victimized by a bias system at Kansas State, and he should be given an opportunity to show that he was railroaded. There was just no proof. Counsel, didn't Ray file a lawsuit against KSU for discrimination arising out of his expulsion? Yes, Your Honor, I believe that is accurate. And that case was dismissed, correct? I believe that's also correct, but I can check. That will not be necessary. Thank you, Your Honor. And for the aforementioned reasons, I ask that you nullify Cornell's decision to rescind their offer to Ray. Thank you. Next, we'll hear the arguments by Cornell's attorney in response. May it please the court. Your Honor, in reviewing a determination rendered by a private educational institution like Cornell, where no hearing is required, the court should not disturb it unless the school acts arbitrarily and not in the exercise of its honest discretion, or if it fails to abide by its own rules, or imposes a penalty so excessive that it shocks one's sense of fairness. A student is defined, Your Honor, under Cornell's code as a person currently registered or as a special student currently enrolled in or taking classes. Ray was none of those things when he lied about his academic background on the application for admission to Cornell. Neither the code nor the procedures created by it were applicable to Ray's misconduct. Thank you, Your Honor. Finally, we come to the ruling of the court. And here's the judge. Because of Ray's blatant dishonesty, Cornell rescinded his admission. Ray could not present any legitimate reason for the omissions on the application form because there were none. Ray's attempts to shift the blame for his deceit to Cornell's admissions officials is incredible. There is nothing arbitrary or capricious in Cornell's eminently rational determination to rescind the offer to Ray. And that's it. So Ray will not be attending Cornell. Ray's lucky he's not in jail. The lesson? Never lie on an application for school or for employment. That is a guarantee that you will not get the position you seek, or you'll get it and lose it soon after you get it. At least by being truthful, you have a chance at least to be seen as someone who tells the truth. And truthfulness is a much sought after trait anywhere.